Leonidas,
Ryan Seacrest.
how did you feel about that kick?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 worst scenes in parody movies.
That movie's totally gonna flop.
For this list, we're looking at the gags in funny movies that fell flat. While comedy is subjective, these scenes still earned enough groans from viewers to be considered here. What parody movie do you remember the most? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Nightmare-Fueled Chipmunks, disaster movie. To avoid getting caught up in the chaos of the outside world, the main characters take refuge inside a building. They soon discover they're sharing the hideout with 3 chipmunks. Before you have time to question why these animal parodies are here, they go from being vaguely cute to absurdly terrifying. They also attack the characters because they all have rabies.
Okay, you guys are not Alvin and the Chipmunks, are you?
I think that one's got rabies.
Not only does the first scene drag on too long, but it also legitimately terrified younger viewers who happened to stumble onto the scene. While this chipmunk sequence could work in a Twisted Chucky spin-off, it felt out of place in disaster movie. Number 19, a weak Yo Mama battle. Meet the Spartans. During this 300 parody, a bunch of Greek warriors had to face off against the Persian army in a Yo Mama insult battle.
From every corner of his empire, he sent his most vicious warriors to fight.
Yo mama's so ghetto, when she breastfeeds, Kool-Aid comes out.
Admittedly, the idea behind this is legitimately funny, and was a great parody of the MTV competition show that was airing at the time. The problem lies in the execution. Most of the Yo Mama jokes fall pretty flat.
Yo mama's so fat, so Mix-a-Lot decided he doesn't like big butts, and he ain't lying.
Even though the scene features talented comedians like Tiffany Haddish, the writing lets her and the rest of the cast down. We'd much rather watch the MTV show than sit through this cringeworthy Yo Mama battle. Number 18, missing a Mystique joke. Epic movie.
And finally, our last orphan, Peter. He made his home among the undesirables of society, the mutants.
As the narrator is informing us that the mutant Peter is an outcast, the loner suddenly spots his classmate Mystique. The movie instantly grinds to a halt so we can watch her dance seductively to Promiscuous. We guess that the writers were trying to make fun of the fact that Mystique tends to be a bit over-sexualized in the X-Men films. However, the gag doesn't really work because the parody does exactly what it's calling out without adding anything to it. What really makes the scene feel pointless is that there's absolutely no connection to the story. If the scene was cut, it wouldn't change a single thing. Mystique's dance routine ultimately becomes an awkward detour that lacks any subtlety or actual humor.
Would you like to come to the homecoming dance with me?
As if.
Number 17, a Sensual Autopsy? Holmes and Watson. If you want to solve the mystery of why Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly couldn't make this Sherlock parody work, just look at one of the movie's worst bits. After a dead body falls out of a cake, Watson conducts an autopsy on the victim with his romantic interest Grace.
This one always gets me in the mood. So begins the dance.
The two end up neglecting their jobs so they can flirt with each other. We definitely got that the bit was meant to parody moments like the pottery scene from Ghost. However, the concept of 2 people playing with the icing on a victim's body is just too strange. And it doesn't help that the joke goes on way too long. It's elementary why the writers should have cut the scene completely.
And I must say, Dr. Hart made some beautiful lateral incisions there.
No, watching you flay the skin from his face so gently.
I would play 1,000 faces for you.
Number 16, an Inconvenient Store stop. Plump fiction. The best parodies are able to poke fun at a wide variety of properties during their runtime. But a scene in this maligned comedy tried to take shots at too many things in one scene. During this Pulp Fiction parody, main character Mimi risks getting in a car accident to grab tacos. When she arrives in the store, the movie suddenly turns into a Clerks parody.
Hey, Clerks! Bigger budget.
They temporarily abandon the premise with tasteless jokes about overeating and a random wig change. Suddenly, the movie decides to make the original ending of Clerks by having her shoot the employees. The lack of rhyme or reason in this scene made it so head-scratching that we didn't feel like laughing.
Jesus Christ, Mimi!
What the hell did you do that for?
I hate that song.
Number 15, Paranormal Bedroom Activity, a haunted house. While Malcolm's partner was getting ready for bed, he turned to the camera to express how excited he was at the prospect of getting intimate. He then took the scene into bizarre territory by using a stuffed animal to help demonstrate what he's going to do.
Fellas, get out your pen and pads. We're about to give you a sex tutorial. Let's do this.
Although there's no nudity in the scene, we still can't show much of it here because of its raunchy nature. And honestly, you're not missing much. Malcolm plays around with the stuffed animals for a solid minute straight without any cuts to other characters. Viewers have no choice but to sit awkwardly through the squirm-inducing scene until the movie remembers that it exists to make fun of horror films.
I can't wait to lie next to you.
Oh, me too. Gotta go, baby.
Number 14, Please Stop Believin', the comebacks. We could be here all day naming all the gags in this sports movie that aged like milk. However, there was one joke that never worked. When the sports team at the heart of the flick goes through a rough patch, they decide to get back on track by singing together. The first people to sing can't exactly hold a tune.
Just a city boy, born and raised inside Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere.
Although the movie thankfully switches to a recorded version of Don't Stop Believin', the scene still becomes grating due to its absurd length. The sequence goes on for around 2 minutes. While they try to throw in some visual gags along the way, they never commit to a bit long enough. This patience-testing musical sequence hit all the wrong notes.
And the Booster Club laughed at me when I demanded a smoke machine and laser lights for the locker room.
Number 13, A Terrible First Kiss, not another teen movie. Shortly after Sadie reveals that she has no kissing experience, the extremely over-sexualized character Catherine offers to help. The duo then steps aside for a one-on-one chat.
Okay. Now close your eyes and wet your lips.
Are you for real?
This scene could have been a funny dig at Cruel Intentions and Never Been Kissed. Unfortunately, it's completely ruined when Sadie and Catherine go in for a more advanced makeout.
Only this time, I'm gonna stick my tongue in your mouth. And when I do that, I want you to massage my tongue with yours.
The scene starts tame before getting progressively grosser by the second. While it's meant to induce laughs, it just inspires nausea instead. The disgusting makeout is far and away one of the hardest scenes to watch in the mostly solid parody. Number 12, A Nightmare Sequence, Breaking Wind. Just 2 minutes into yet another Twilight parody, we open up on Edward romantically staring at Bella while she makes an extremely cringeworthy joke about dating. The scene bizarrely veers into an extended bit where the vampire offers to change her diapers.
Seriously, change me. I think I just soiled my pants.
Do you want the bears or the bunnies?
Before we can process any of this, Bella's grandmother arrives and starts hooking up with Edward in graphic detail. It's disclosed that the entire sequence was a dream before she reveals she's still asleep. Outside of the visual similarities, nothing in this pointless nightmare sequence is specific to Twilight. It felt like the writers took random prompts from Mad Libs and smashed them together. Even the Bella actress seemed eager to move on from the gag.
So what, Edward's trying to brown nose me now?
You know what, Dad, let's just move on.
Number 11, Introducing Stephen Hawking, superhero movie. Viewers went into this takedown of the superhero genre expecting the writers to make fun of our favorite icons. But nothing could have prepared them for this left-field Stephen Hawking appearance.
I am so proud to welcome Dr. Stephen Hawking.
During a scene set at a high school science fair, the scientist arrives to give a speech to the students. The sequence takes an extremely dark and ableist turn when he jokes about wanting to take his own life due to his medical condition. After that horribly unfunny piece of dialogue, the fake Hawking talks about his obsession with sex and smoking.
Hey, anyone wanna get high? I've got some hash with me.
The entire scene comes off as an unwarranted and mean-spirited dig at the scientist. And since his appearance doesn't significantly affect the plot, the entire detour felt unnecessary. Number 10, Inappropriate Indiana Jones, disaster movie.
Indiana Jones?
Disaster movie follows the immature Will as he fights off pop culture references while trying to prevent the apocalypse.
I am Iron Man.
After discovering he can save the world by placing a crystal skull on an altar, he meets Indiana Jones. Jones explains that he is Will's father before feeling up his son's girlfriend.
Thanks, son. That's right. I'm your father.
Between the assault being played for laughs and jokes about how promiscuous Will's mother was, the scene comes off as sexist and cringeworthy. But when Jones dies shortly after his introduction, the whole sequence becomes pointless. We'd rather watch the critically panned Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull before sitting through this disastrous scene again. Number 9. Too many kicks. Meet the Spartans.
Leonidas.
Ryan Seacrest.
When King Leonidas kicked an enemy messenger into a pit in 300, an iconic scene was born.
This is Sparta!
But when Meet the Spartans parodied the epic moment, the audience fell into a hole of unfunny comedy. After Imitation Leonidas kicks his enemies into a pit, a Britney Spears caricature shows up and is knocked in too. Spears' appearance is followed by a cheap joke about singer Sanjaya, a cowardly Ryan Seacrest, and an unoriginal bit about the American Idol judges.
In fact, I've seen better kicks from a geriatric donkey, and I'm not talking about you, Paula.
These random cameos fall flat and make the joke drag on way longer than necessary. The editors should have thrown this tired scene into a pit. Number 8. Harry Potter and the Horrible Parody. Epic movie.
Welcome! My name is Harry Potter.
Creators Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer have dominated this list so far. Their unfunny reign continues with a scene from their fantasy satire Epic movie. When the main characters discover a certain magical school, they meet a perverted Harry Potter, a pregnant Hermione, and a balding Ron with no distinct personality.
Greetings.
Outside of Harry's inappropriate groping, the main problem here is that the writers don't even try to make fun of the beloved characters. Instead, Harry and friends are replaced with creepy and offensive stereotypes. There are tons of clever Potter parodies. Try any of those before suffering through this uninspired writing.
Come on, Peter! Stop being such a little Nancy boy!
Number 7. Making fun of harmful diets. Scary Movie 5. For reasons only known to this movie's writers, they decided to parody the psychological ballet movie Black Swan 3 years after the drama was released. Main character Jodie is placed in several groan-worthy dance scenes, but the worst joke about her ballet career touches on a serious issue. While Jodie is sitting down to eat, she reveals that her lunch consists of a single Cheerio. She also body shames herself before pointing out a dancer that was on such a strict diet that she became a stick figure.
Is that all? Pure has a weight limit. I'm too heavy.
And they really hammer home the joke by making fun of bulimia. While this series of scenes was trying to highlight a real issue, they became a part of the problem by going too far.
I eat and eat and eat, and I don't gain a pound.
Number 6. Immature Names. The Starving Games.
Nice. Looks like the odds just got better for me then.
The odds were not in the audience's favor when Friedberg and Seltzer reunited for 2013's The Starving Games. In one of the worst scenes, the citizens of District 12 wait for their representative F-Off to select 2 tributes to compete in a battle to the death. When she reaches into the bowl of names, she keeps pulling out fake monikers like Phil Mahooters and Dingleberry.
Dingleberry!
The wordplay is supposed to be funny, but the joke is too juvenile to earn anything but groans. As final proof that this comedic bit is bad, F-Off criticizes the joke during the movie.
You won't be laughing when 2 of you are picked and thrown into the arena for your most certain deaths.
Number 5. Jersey Shore reference. Vampires suck. The Twilight movies have been criticized for their melodrama, romance, and cheesy lines.
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
This vampires suck scene ignored all those flaws in favor of a weak pop culture reference.
Who are they?
Oh, those are the Sullens.
When main character Becca is being told about the various students in her new school, she spots Edward Sullen.
Who's that?
Snooki, JWoww, DJ Polly D.
No, not the douchebags from the Jersey Shore.
The camera pans over to reveal that he's standing behind a cast of Jersey Shore impersonators. Although their cameo lasts less than 10 seconds, it feels like a nonsensical waste of time. The movie does nothing with the cast except point in their direction and expect us to laugh for recognizing them. It is the epitome of lazy writing.
Favorite activity? Searching for soul which has been cast into eternal damnation.
Number 4, Pimp My Ride montage, date movie. Allison Hannigan was somehow convinced to wear padding to play Julia in Friedberg and Seltzer's date movie. After Julia asks a love doctor for romantic advice, she is taken to a car garage for a makeover. We get a disgusting montage of mechanics waxing Julia's back, buffing her toenails, and literally sucking mayonnaise out of her. The aggressively insulting Pimp My Ride parody also features a pointless Star Wars joke and awkward camera shots that linger for way too long. We know to expect offensive, excessive, and unfunny writing from Friedberg and Seltzer, but it's still astounding to see how low they can go. Number 3, The Never-Ending Fart, Extreme Movie. Since Extreme Movie is entirely composed of sketches from different writers, the tone and humor are inconsistent from scene to scene. But there was one vignette that stank more than the rest. In the scene, a young woman passes gas while making out. After her partner insists it's okay, she continues to fart for 40 uninterrupted seconds. The young woman's flatulence goes from gross to unrealistic, but never manages to be funny. When she's finished cutting the cheese, her partner comments it was nasty. The scene then ends so abruptly that it feels like the movie itself wanted to move on from this toilet humor. Number 2, Blackface Makeover, dance flick.
Anyway, come on, let's go. Just get in, hurry up.
Although Dance Flick parodies a wide selection of movies, it takes a lot of its inspiration from Save the Last Dance. In both movies, the Caucasian main character has an African-American friend that gives them a quick makeover in a car. However, Dance Flick crosses the line when the Caucasian Megan emerges from the car in blackface. Her shocking makeup is made worse when she changes her voice and mannerisms to play into negative black stereotypes. This jarring scene may have been intended for comedy, but it's hard to find humor when historically troubling makeup is used as a cheap throwaway gag. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, The Abusive Mrs. Robinson, 50 Shades of Black.
I thought I was supposed to be here for music lessons.
50 Shades of Black constantly toes the line between risque and flat-out offensive. Although the scene where characters are served meals based on their race is extremely cringeworthy, Christian Black's backstory is much worse.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Do you know why I hit you in the head with that tambourine, Black?
Black explains that his BDSM lifestyle started with his piano teacher, Mrs. Robinson. We then flash back to Mrs. Robinson showing a teenage Black how to have sex. When he messes up, Mrs. Robinson ridicules him with insults and physical harm. At the scene's conclusion, it's revealed that there are more who are waiting for her lessons.
Willie, you're up next.
The problem here is simple. Physical and emotional abuse are not funny, and neither is this scene. Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.